Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who have not yet awoken, to know that everything is information and that we have the choice to actually apply certain types of information to our lives in order to transform ourselves and to lead ourselves to higher levels of understanding and wisdom. Everything is genetics. EpiGenetics, a science, a subscience of biology, proves that we have conscious control over our genetic makeup. Now, everything is information. Your body adapts to the environment that you place it in. Whatever environment that the body is placed in, the body then adapts to it switching on and off certain genes in order to survive, in order to be one with that environment. See, your genes are like light switches. Now just imagine a long row, a long line of just light switches. Some are on, some are off. These are the sections of your DNA. Your DNA holds amino acids called A, T, C's, and G's. These A, T, C's, and G's are different parts of the substance of reality. Now, these different A, T, C's, and G's are light switches. Some are cut on, some are cut off. Depending on which ones are cut off and which ones are cut on depends on which genes within you are dominant or which genes in you are recessive. Now, you are basically experiencing a light show, your own light show, because everyone and everything that has DNA, which everything does, has its own makeup. We are all experiencing different light shows. See, you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind takes in information and creates a reality for the conscious mind to experience. Your conscious mind creates a vibration, creates a frequency of thought. Okay, this frequency of thought, which after so long becomes embedded into the heart space, what we call the heart, which is the dam of the blood, which holds the blood, a reservoir for the blood. This embedded information causes an automation, which in turn breaks down the quantum waves of reality and collapses them, all of the particles, in a sequence in order to create the reality you experience. Now, the heart space, creating this vibration, fine-tunes the DNA, which is the possibility of anything that can be expressed biologically. And this fine-tuning, depending on what vibration the heart makes, cuts on certain switches and off certain switches. Those light switches are your genes. Now, in order to know which genes you have cut on and which genes you have cut off, which genes are dominant and which genes are recessive, all you must do is look at the reality that you perceive. See, the truth is simple. The simulation that you are in is very complex. So the truth is simple and complex simultaneously and can only be experienced. Anything that is told or read is only half truth until it is applied to life through correct information. If it is applied to life through misinformation, then it is still half truth and it is not whole truth. Whole truth must be experienced and experienced correctly. When you see something bad, quote unquote bad, happen in your life, is because there is a gene that is cut on, a dominant gene that is cut on, that can understand that situation as a bad situation or as a bad thing. If there is a situation that you do not understand or any form of information that you do not understand, then those genes that you have are recessive. They're spraying the chemtrails now to keep our genes blocked, as you can hear. These metallic alloys they have in the air and in our water and in our foods actually keep our genes on lockdown, actually keep our DNA from expanding, and keep us from noticing and becoming fully aware and conscious of who we are as beings. So, what we must do is begin to activate our genes and cut off certain genes at will in order to expand and evolve our DNA. This comes by knowledge, right knowledge, scientific information and proof, faith, which is the substance of their proof, faith, which is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, which means science is the observation of things seen, but also looking deeper into them to see the unseen formats of them, the unseen part of where they come from. So we must use science, we must use different sciences in order to know ourselves more thoroughly and deeply, so that we may become more conscious of our reality and ourselves, who we are, and manipulate what is better into the collective experience. This is the Akashic Records, and this is the spirit realm. The Kabbalion speaks of the great spiritual plane, the great mental plane, and the great physical plane. But the first law of Hermeticism and natural living is that all is mental, all is one. So these planes are all one. The light show, the light work of the genes is how you determine the separation of these planes. The separation of these planes are all illusion. All is one. And until we actually synchronize and syncretize all information into our aspects and everything astrological about ourselves and numerological and epigenal, then, only then, shall we consciously manipulate our genetic makeup and our biology. See, the Holy Bible, or the Helios Biblios, what people call the Holy Bible, which is actually the Sacred Son book, or just a piece of it, we have to see that it says that by our own traditions, by our past ancestors' implementing our genes, then we are bound by those genes. But at the same time, it also says that your past ancestors' information or your ancestors' genes do not affect you if you become more conscious of those genes, if you become more conscious of those traditions and why they exist. Once you become more conscious of those genes and how they affect your reality, and you become more conscious of the reality that you are creating, and you can now manipulate it, and you can now know why you experience what you experience. You can now know why you experience what you experience completely, and fully be able to change what you experience. These are the facts. These are the powers that be. These are the true powers that be. The ones who you call the elite have no control over you unless you let them control you. And they have basically herded us all up. Herd us. They have heard us and not requested, not administered or demanded to our hearing. So now we must take charge. We must take control of our own realities and stop being sheep and become goats. Stop being sheep and become wolves and get into packs of people that are like us and vibrate with our similar frequency in order to change our genes, our genetic makeup. We must move to different environments and different climates. We must migrate, begin to migrate again as the natural human being has done, and evolve our genes, expand our DNA, expand our minds and the information that we intake and output. All information is within your genes and your DNA. And any information in a book that does not align with the natural living, that does not align with the objective facts hidden within the DNA and the genes, then it should be questioned. It should be taken and broken down and reintegrated through the lens of natural living and truth. See, the genes are the information that the DNA gives to the ribosomes within your body. The ribosomes then take that information from the vibrations of your heart space, which are the thoughts impressed upon your subconscious, creating feelings. And the ribosomes take that information and create specific shapes and formats for proteins, which then become actions, creating cells. That means that whatever thoughts you continuously impress upon the subconscious mind, creating feelings, in turn creates your reality, because these genes, these thoughts, these vibrations, they all create your cells. And your cells create your body. And your body creates how you experience reality. And how you experience reality creates who you are as a person, who you are as the ego, and who you are as a natural human being, and what you can do in your abilities, and everything that you wish to have, anything that you could possibly have or do. So we must begin to take note of how our feelings and thoughts create our reality, and how they affect our genes through vibrations from the heart space, and also the vibrations from the brain space. The alpha, beta, theta, and delta waves are all parts of the human mind and correspond with the AT, C's, and G's of genetics. When you have become more conscious of your brain wave states and your heart space, then you will know that biology is all choice. Biology is all consciousness. And biology is what we need to advance in order to advance our spirituality, our religious aspects, and our cultures. Our cultures are built off our physiology and our anatomy. The only reason that we have certain cultures, religions, and spiritualities is because of the way that we perceive through our bodies. Connect with the sunlight and embrace the energy of the photons that feed your body information. Break down that information, digest it, and regurgitate it, and use it to frequently vibrate to higher forms of experience, understanding, and wisdom. I am Jah Mashiach, and I am here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. I say today that we have conscious control over our biology through epigenetics, and that we can recreate our destiny, or we can recreate what we see as chance and become more conscious of our true destiny and our purpose. Share and subscribe. Connect with your genes. See which ones are dominant, which ones are recessive, and which one of the light switches, which light switches need to be cut on and which light switches need to be cut off. And that will be impressed upon the subconscious mind of the all that is, the I am. And that will help the collective consciousness, others, to cut on and cut off the right light switches. This is your light show. And you are the coordinator and director. I love myself. Share and subscribe and add my other social media pages. Peace.